What is a champion? It takes heart, grit, and determination.
Right hand again, dropped.
Not how hard you get knocked down,
Oh, it is over.
but how quickly you get back up.
Station Suttles. Stepped up huge from the Philly Smoke.
The last till the final bell rings.
There's the power you're asking for. Uppercut, and it is over.
Tonight, a season begins to unfold. The Philadelphia Smoke, fresh off an undefeated regular season, look to avenge their Mega Brawl 3 loss to the New York City Attitude in a win-or-go-home showdown. The 2026 TBL playoffs start now.
We welcome you to Fight Night and to the postseason in Team Boxing League. The first of 4 quarterfinal matchups take place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania tonight as the league's top seed. The Philadelphia Smoke welcome in the defending Mega Brawl champions, the 8th seed New York City Attitude. Glad to have you with us, everybody. We welcome you inside our TBL studios along with the Hall of Famer Dave Bontempo. I am Justin Shackle. It is 1 versus 8 as we take a look at the playoff bracket to start Team Boxing League playoffs. And it is the Smoke and the Attitude, a rematch of last year's battle for the championship. I'd say, Dave, throughout the seeding numbers, because between these two teams, it's as personal as it probably can get within this league.
Justin, they are glued at the hip, these two teams. They own all the Mega Brawl championships. And New York stole it from Philly with an improbable late-round surge in the Mega Brawl last year. This year, New York came in and they won the first launch rounds. That is the only time Philadelphia has been beaten in the launch, middle, and money round segments. They went 16-1. Plus, trading players and the trash talk never stops.
And it feels like New York has just had to claw its way uphill just to get to this point, into the postseason. They finished the regular season at 3-5, and they also had to do it with some new faces because it hasn't been easy. They lost a lot of talent year over year, specifically Stasis Suttles, who we're obviously going to see in the purple fight kit tonight, and Giovanni Estella, who's doing his thing for Miami.
That was a big loss for them. They would try to fill that with some newcomers. And Javier Martinez has been a breath of fresh air for New York, 5-0, including a knockdown and a critical victory for that team in its big surge at the end of the season. He can give them some strength. He can give them that big overhand left, and basically he can give them some power. Now, Dusan Veletic has been another nice surprise. 8-4, occasional power, feisty, hardworking, giving New York some stability at the bottom of the lineup there. So they lost 2 big players. They did get 2 good ones back. Hard to replace Suttles, but you have to compliment what they did.
Yeah, up and down, there's been some symmetry in that New York City lineup. As for Philadelphia, it's been nothing but consistency year to year. Same story, and they even added another big-time addition in Lissandra Contreras, a potential Rookie of the Year award winner, but it's still Jesse Hart and Shaquilla Ellis' show, no?
That's a murderer's row combination right now. They are the mainstays. Stacia Suttles coming up from New York was a major addition for this team. Jesse Hart is the heart and soul of the team. Lissandra Contreras, what a great breath of fresh air she has been for this Philly team. All of a sudden, it's like an embarrassment of riches for Philadelphia.
And as far as rounds to watch go here in the launch rounds, we go immediately to the heavyweights in round number 8. Dusan Veletic, Conja Nathan. They have a little bit of history. Veletic winning in the season opener the very first week, but that's going to be an exciting round to watch.
Well, it was a war. That was the main thing to remember about that one for those guys is they know their styles. They went right at it. It was a pleasing contest, and they're at it again in round 8. Now a round to watch, and it will be very curious to see where the match will be at that point.
All right, let's go out to 2300 Arena. Welcome in the 3rd member of our broadcast team. It is Sofia Gutierrez. She had a chance to speak with both head coaches. I know that was the case for you, Sofia, earlier at the arena. And I think when it comes to seedings and storylines, again, it's 1 versus 8, but you zoom in a little bit deeper because these two teams, they have no love lost. You throw the seeding out the window.
That's right. Thanks, guys. Excited to be here. And just like you said, seed 1 versus seed 8. We know we're going to get a big fight tonight. Now, I had the chance to talk to both coaches, but let's start off with New York City's attitude, Ryan O'Leary. We got to talk about the regular season and how he feels going into this playoff season. Check it out.
No change. So during the regular season, they always whoop our butt. That's no problem. First fight we had this year, we were winning all the way up until the final. We got a guy stopped and we lost. Second one, we got blown out. But the same thing that happened last season is the same thing that's going to happen this season. When it counts, we win.
Now, he's expecting the same that happened last season to happen this season, although there's a couple of players that have left and have joined, one of them being Stacia Suttles, and she is back home. She is here in Philly. And speaking about Philly, I also got the chance to talk to Coach Bob Kane. Now, he is looking calm and collective in the back, and I asked him how they're going into tonight's matchup and avoiding what happened in last year's Mega Brawl, and he said, hey, everyone gets lucky once. Now, he's feeling confident, and he also added that New York City always brings the best fights. Now, I asked him if they're looking for knockouts or they're just planning to win round by round and slowly collect and stack those points. And he said that's exactly what we're trying to do. Stack those points up round by round. But he did mention that he predicts a stoppage in those money rounds. So we also have to keep an eye out for those two.
We have some notable names in those money rounds for Philadelphia. Sophia, thanks so much. We will see you later on in the broadcast, and we'll also take a look at all those fighters competing in multiple rounds. We'll meet the contestants. We'll meet both teams when we come back. The postseason about to begin in Team Boxing League, Philadelphia and New York City. Up next. Team Boxing League is brought to you by Balance of Nature. In boxing, consistency beats intensity. Balance of Nature supplements can help you stay consistent with ingredients of whole foods you can easily slot into your daily routine. Go to balanceofnature.com, use code TEAM, and start today. The famous Rocky Balboa statue outside the Philadelphia Museum of Art. The famous TBL Bellas on hand at 2300 Arena as we get going with the postseason. First of 4 quarterfinal matchups coming up. And the first, the defending champ, the NYC Attitude, going up against the home team, the Philadelphia Smoke. Without further ado, let's go inside the ring at 2300 Arena. Here is Ray Flores.
This is Team Boxing League, where every round is the last round and every fighter leaves it all inside the ring. Each moment of TBL season airs live on MSG Networks, Spectrum Sportsnet, Sportsnet Pittsburgh, Envoy TV, New England Sports Network, along with Spanish language coverage available on Estrella TV. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here live at the legendary 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, PA, for tonight's Season 4 quarterfinal matchup between the visiting NYC Attitude and your hometown Philly Smoke. We would like to thank the Pennsylvania Athletic Commission, Chairman Rudy Bettel, for helping oversee tonight's event. Your referees in charge of the action all evening long are Harvey Dock and David Fields. A big thank you to our fine sponsors, Climax Moonshine, Fire Number 32, Balance of Nature, Serenity Springs Recovery Center, and HotelPlanner.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the reigning and defending Mega Brawl champions, the visiting NYC Attitude.
Well, the New York City Attitude had an improbable run to a Mega Brawl title last year, capped it off with that unforgettable win over the Philadelphia Smoke. But Dave, this year they had to do a whole lot of work just to get into the dance once again, coming away victorious over Boston back on July 10th to punch their ticket.
And sweating out the final week of the regular season, winning the tiebreak by 2 points. So they had to win and then sweat it out. It went right down to the wire in that one. And that's why this team may believe that they're the charmed team in these playoffs. We find a way to get in, and then we wreak havoc. So that's what they're going to be thinking, and they're coming in on an emotional high.
The coaches for the reigning Mega Brawl champion NYC Attitude, Ryan O'Leary and Benny Roman. Here is the starting lineup for NYC. Multi-time national champion Bantamweight Angelis Lopez Menendez. Featherweight Jeremy Adorno. Featherweight Abril Mulan Anguiano. Lightweight Jose Adriel Diaz Rodriguez. Welterweight Oscar Trujillo. Super welterweight Lasha Gurgliani. Middleweight Justin Figueroa. Heavyweight Dusan Valetic. 14-time national champion featherweight Natalia Zamoteca. Multi-time national champion lightweight Ryan Pretty Boy Zamoteca. Super lightweight Melissa St. Phil. 8-time Puerto Rican national champion super welterweight Ryan Pino. Super middleweight Javier Martinez. Light heavyweight Sean McCollman. Cruiserweight Tesha Talley. And heavyweight Danny Borlo. That is the NYC Attitude. And now, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the undefeated Philly Smoke.
They're a team that may not dominate you segment to segment, but they'll win a lot of them by 2 to 3 points. You look up when it's over, you say, I thought we fought them pretty well. How did we lose by 6? They don't pull out, but they're just very consistent up and down the lineup.
Philadelphia completing a perfect 8-0 regular season on the way toward that. 2 wins over New York City. They beat the Attitude 19-14 back on March 20th on opening weekend. And then on May 2nd, defeating NYC 22-11, the final right there. Ended the regular season with a convincing win over San Antonio 19-8. San Antonio in the upper half of the playoff bracket, so the Smoke stretching out their muscles right there. They are trying to complete the quest for a perfect season within Team Boxing League, and it obviously has to get through one of the tougher tests, maybe psychologically, for this team in the form of New York City this evening.
Yeah, they've got to shake New York.
Here is the starting lineup for the Philly Smoke, who are led by their head coach, renowned trainer, Bob Kane. Silver medalist at the National Championships, featherweight, Alessandra Contreras. The first of 40 wins in TBO history, featherweight Rashid Shagashin Brown. Multi-time national champion in 2020, U.S. Olympian, featherweight Shaquilla Ellis. National champion lightweight Angel, the chosen one, Hernandez. Welterweight Isaiah Killadoo Johnson. Multi-time national champion and U.S. Olympic trialist, Jason the Donna Moreno. Middleweight Steve Tugboat Cunningham Jr. New York Golden Gloves champion heavyweight Concha Don't Blink Nathan. Three-time Pennsylvania state champion and Honduran national team member, featherweight Maria Antunes. Former WBC Silver USA Super Lightweight champion, lightweight Nahir Wu Albright. Multi-time national champion, Team USA member and Olympic trialist, super lightweight Stasia the Natural Suttles. Welterweight Hendry Bazooka Cedinho. Super middleweight Zaire the Punisher Jefferson. Former USBA, NABO, and NABF champion, light heavyweight Jesse Hardwork Hortz. Former two-time world champion cruiserweight Steve USS Cunningham Sr. Two-time national Golden Glove champion heavyweight Eric Too Easy Ross. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Philly Smoke. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you all please rise if you're able to, as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem, being sung tonight by a member of the Philly Smoke, lightweight Nahir Albright.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming in the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Nahir Albright with the singing of our national national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to begin the launch rounds between NYC and Philly. We begin this quarterfinal matchup at bantamweight. NYC, Angelis Lopez Mendez. Philly, Lisandra Contreras.
Dave, I just want to say before we get started, Nahir Albright is almost performing longer for the national anthem than he will in round number 10 in the middle rounds. Not quite 3 minutes.
Yes, but he is pipes, Albright, and added a lot more inflections into his repertoire now. And, you know, it's something seeing a guy with hand wraps singing the national anthem.
It never gets old. And we love seeing it every time Nahir does perform for us with that Team Boxing League microphone as we are underway here in the postseason. Here in round number 1, Angel Reese Mendez and Lisandra Contreras at 118 pounds. Contreras just celebrating her 22nd birthday on Thursday, and she's had a sensational first season in TBL when it comes to bantamweights. 9-1 record, posting up plus 11 points, and she is a Rookie of the Year nominee.
And she's got a nice style to work against here. When she beat Isabel Vasquez in the last, it was a southpaw style that she had to adjust to. And here it's more of the right-handed style, and she's been very comfortable with that throughout the year. And she has really been a rising star. And to be put at the top of the lineup, that's a big statement of faith.
And Contreras and Mendez had yet to link up until right now. Mendez, not a fighter to mess with. 16-9 in her TBL career, went 7-2 in the regular season. She won 2 of 3 rounds against Maria Antunes of Philly earlier this season when these two teams met up twice. And she was a participant for New York City in the Mega Brawl last year. Split 2 rounds, one against Shaquilla Ellis, who we're going to see in a couple of rounds, and the other against Shira May Patricio, who was 1 and done in TBL, at least as of right now. But again, Philadelphia seamlessly replacing Patricio with Contreras.
Yeah, what a person to put into your lineup, and she has risen to it, finding some room out there right now, not smothering himself. She's got a good right hand, good left hook by Contreras, and she has found a way to stay away from that body punching attack launched by Mendez, which has been her ticket.
Big overhand right attempt from Mendez, narrowly missing, but Contreras has looked sharp and in a rhythm, bouncing and then barreling some punches early on here in this round.
That was a good right hand that got in by Contreras, and her first good combination that she's able to put together.
.45 seconds to go. Good check right hand from Contreras. And another good left hook, followed up by a right hand from Lisandra Contreras. The connect rate climbing here in the final minute.
Yeah, she's found a range with that right hand here and taking advantage of height, reach, and savvy.
In Puerto Rico against the Dominican Republic here in the opening round between Philadelphia and New York City. It's a good round between these two women. They are 1 and done tonight. Very interesting, Dave. You look up and down this bout sheet to see who will have multiple rounds to their name. And some of the biggest names I think that we'll see in multiple rounds, they live on the Philly side. Shaquilla Ellis and Stacia Suttles.
Yeah, that's 4 big matchups that Philadelphia has put in here on a very deep team. As you take a look at some of Contreras' best work from that opening round, her right hand was there, and the last minute she really found a groove.
TBL fans, the winner of round 1 by way of unanimous decision from the Philly Smoke, Lisandra Contreras. Round 2 at featherweight, NYC, Jeremy Adorno, Philly, Rasheed Brown.
So Lysandra Contreras continues to be the perfect table setter for Philadelphia, getting a unanimous decision over Mendez.
And if you're New York, if you come out of any one of these first 3 fights with a point, you'll feel good because you're going against Rasheed Brown now and then Shaquille Ellis. Philadelphia very stacked on top. And so, like, the fight within the fight, if you're in New York, you'll feel good if you can get 1 point out of these 3. Philly already on the board.
Round 2 between Rasheed Brown in the purple trunks and the highlight yellow boxing shoes against Jeremy Adorno.
Now, Adorno was with Boston and one of a couple fighters plugged into the New York lineup to fill out the full roster. As based on commission rules and medical clearings, some fighters had to be added from non-playoff teams. And that's how that will shake out in the postseason.
Here he's trying to pick off Brown, who went 11-3 in the regular season. His only losses were to Alexi De La Cruz and Alexander Castellano, a former fighter for New York City.
And De La Cruz has the same southpaw style that you see here in Adorno, so that could be promising for him. But Brown is such a sliding glide machine for this Philly team. Maybe even personifies that smoothness we see throughout the Philadelphia team. They'll let you fire a shot at him and just miss and then come back and get you. And where is he? He's only 2 inches away.
Yeah, his evasion also on defense of some of these jabs early on from Adorno, they are textbook. Just out of the reach, right there, a quick Pez-like snapback.
And you can't teach that. A guy will see that and know how much he can gamble to get inside that range, get his punch off, how much of a chance can he take, and then immediately gets out instinctively.
Rasheed Brown, first fighter in Team Boxing League history to 40 wins. He has a career 41-6 record in TBO.
If you're going to get to Brown, one flash did go before Adorno. You have to get him going straight back on a switch and on the move back, and then you can try to hit him. That's the spot where he'll expose himself a little bit and take a chance.
Brown landed a quality jab straight through the guard of Adorno a moment ago. There's another jab. Less than a minute to go in round 2. Adorno operating with a little mouse bump under his right eye. That's something that he came into the bout with. There's that jab again from Brown, sneaking through, just a point scored.
And a kind of fighter you look up after it's over is 0.2 of a second is all he beat me to the punch on all the time. And that's how quick he is and how close he is to being countered. There he did get caught, but he gets hit very little. He'd throw the double jab just to make sure he doesn't get hit on the way back. So many tricks that he has.
This is a round that if the judges, I think, see what we've been seeing here the last 3 minutes, could have been won solely with the jab for Rasheed Brown.
Yeah, the jab and that beautiful movement that he has, and the sense of timing that you can't teach. There's that sweet jab. There's another one. Ducks out of the way, scores. You missed me. I nipped you. You missed me again. And these are all situations where Adorno was just missing him. There he did catch him. But when you miss Brown, you're not missing by a lot. That's the chance he takes.
TBL fans, the winner of round 2 by way of unanimous decision from Philly, Rasheed Brown. Round 3 at featherweight, NYC, Abril Anguiano, Philly, Shaquille Ellis.
This sold-out crowd settling in Philadelphia as we get going with round number 3. This is where it could get interesting for Philadelphia in terms of table setting and really stacking some momentum. We heard Sofia Gutierrez talk about it at the top of the broadcast. Bob Kane talking about stacking rounds, breaking this New York City team down methodically. They're already up 2-0, and here you have Shaquille Ellis now going up against Abril Anguiano, a fighter that she's gone 4-0 against in the regular season.
Now, we talked at the top that Philly had every chance to be up 3-0 or more after the 3 rounds here. And Ellis was beaten by Azariah Cottrell in her last outing twice, but obviously a different style that she ran up against. A taller fighter with enough of a right hand to keep her honest. That has not happened in many of her fights. So switching to this opponent, plus the revenge motif from last time, very good for Ellis.
Yeah, this is the first time in Ellis's 2 years in the league that she's been sitting on a defeat.
Yeah, and to do it against one of the rising stars in the league, a real find in Cottrell, who basically tall, rangy, and powerful enough that you can't just barge in on her. So a lot of the things she does was nullified by Cottrell, but this is not Cottrell.
Was interested in the demeanor of Shaquille Ellis coming into this based on her losing those 2 rounds. You saw her in the fighter introductions. Didn't crack a smile, all business.
No, that thing sits on you for a little while, and then you can't wait to go back out there and take care of business.
Good punch exchange from both women a couple of moments ago.
When you look back on the fight with Cottrell, she didn't do anything wrong. She was just in against a fighter with so many tools.
Nice combo there from Ellis.
So she settles into a different realm here, and can put her team up by 3 or more.
We're going to see Azariah Cottrell and the San Antonio Snipers next Saturday against Phoenix. Another quarterfinal matchup. Anguiano landing a right hand to the body, but immediately countered by Ellis, and this is probably Anguiano's best sequence of the round.
And then Ellis tries to send the message, don't get used to it. Operates nicely behind that jab. She doesn't want to be in the corner here. She'd prefer to be moving. Very business-like performance here by Ellis. Going right back to fundamentals. Jab first and then move.
Not to use cliches, but Ellis literally beating Anguiano to the punch in that round.
Oh, absolutely.
Taking a look at some of the action from that 3rd round.
Yeah, there's the right hand and then the jab. Double jab, right hand. And then after she gets popped on the ropes where she didn't want to be, she would fight back. There's a good combination as Anguiano walked into that. Great timing there by Ellis.
TBL fans, the winner of round 3 by way of unanimous decision from the Philly Smoke, Shaquille Ellis. Round 4 at lightweight, NYC Jose Adriel Diaz Rodriguez, Philly Angel Hernandez.
So as you looked at the overall team score, 3 rounds in, Philadelphia already up 3-0. And here it's round 4, Jose Rodriguez and Angel Hernandez going at it, a pair of lightweights. And they're only rounds of the night. So each fighter trying to make their mark on this playoff matchup. Each fighter 23 years of age.
Hernandez fought a tough lefty in Lexi De La Cruz last time and losing. He faces another lefty here Let's see how he adjusts. De La Cruz had that long looping left hand that causes trouble. Not the same style from Rodriguez.
Quick reminder on the scoring format, all the points that are scored, they add up for the team. And if you win by way of judge's decision, it's 1 point for the team. What we've seen so far in each of the first 3 rounds, if you score a knockdown, it's 2 points, 2 or more knockdowns, 3 points, and it's 4 points via knockout or stoppage.
And we've been seeing a few elements come into play this year where...
Oh, what a nice combo there from Hernandez, landing on Rodriguez along the ropes. And now Jose Rodriguez trying to fight himself off the ropes.
That the short route to 4 points might be putting on pressure like this and then having the referee step in. You don't have to go all the way through those channels. One good pressure moment and the stoppage, you get 4.
These two have history. Hernandez with 2 wins in 2 rounds against NYC's Jose Rodriguez. And he's trying to make it a 3rd. That big winding left from Rodriguez, catching mostly glove from Angel Hernandez, 23-year-old out of Orlando.
Well, Hernandez took an opportunity against that southpaw style we were talking about, and he did land a very nice right hand to start all this.
Nice counter with the right hand from Angel Hernandez. And there he gets a shot to the body. These are some fast punches from Angel Hernandez.
Such a good cat and mouse game here with the style.
Hernandez finding a rhythm, finding some landing spots on Rodriguez for much of this 4th round.
Now, when Hernandez moved to his right, away from the power hand, he was not getting hit. He leaned the opposite direction and got caught with that trailing right hook. Such a cool thing to watch that battle with the movement of Hernandez dictating what Rodriguez does.
Dave, what do you think about Rodriguez's hands in terms of how low or high they might be?
I think he's been low enough to get clocked, but he's been focusing on the one big shot, the right hook, and so he's been beaten on the inside. It's throw caution to the wind. If I get hit, I get hit, but I'm looking for something big. And here's a look at some of the moments in there with the good jab to the body and then the head. And then he was able to keep it up here. Did Hernandez some very good action. Right when we were talking about how do you get 4 points, stuff like that can bring it to you. There was the right hand, and look at, Rodriguez going for broke. Hey, it's the playoffs. A lot of emotion on the line. He put it all out there.
fans, the winner of round 4 by way of unanimous decision from the Philly Smoke, Angel Hernandez.
Hernandez now 3-0 this season against Jose Rodriguez, 4 rounds in. And Philadelphia is up 4-0 over New York City here in the quarterfinals. We'll be back after this. Hey, be sure to fill out your bracket challenge for the TBL playoffs. Brackets can't be filled out after 8:30 p.m. tonight. Just go to tblstats.com/playoffs for your chance to predict this season's Mega Brawl champions. Well, Philadelphia already up 4-0 over New York City. Let's get to round 5 and go back to Ray Florence.
Round 5 at welterweight. NYC, Oscar Trujillo. Philly, Isaiah Johnson.
These two welterweights getting going. Isaiah Johnson going for his 30th career TBL win. He's 29-7 across 3 seasons, 8-2 this regular season. And he's coming off a loss to Boston's Thomas Blumenfeld way back on June 13th. So he's had a lot of time sitting on a defeat, this 24-year-old southpaw from the Philly area.
And Blumenfeld, a hard-pressing lefty who gets right on top of you and can make it difficult. That's what he was facing on that night. This is a different style coming at him. It's a righty. It's Trujillo, and Trujillo was 0-11 over the last 2 years. So for Johnson, there's an advantageous aspect to this matchup, and there was a very nice right-hand he caught him with.
Trujillo, 20-year-old Mexican-American out of Riverside, California. Not shy about venturing into that pocket, and Johnson's making him pay so far.
That type of risk by Trujillo could set up Johnson for a multiple point opportunity because his right hooks have been landing with solid precision and good power.
Johnson utilizing that pretty good reach for a 147-pounder.
You see, he has a couple different ways to go with his right hand. He can use it as a jab there or decide to make it a hook. And he might even give you a jab look and then throw the hook, as he does right there. You think it's going to be a jab? Nope, it's a hook.
That was a quality shot. He's been known to have a heavy right hook at that. Has 8 knockouts in 12 wins in traditional boxing. And it didn't take him long, Dave, to, as you can see, the height difference as well. This is just a different type of body profile, welterweight to welterweight. But it didn't take long for Isaiah Johnson to look like he's in full control here as he works the body against Trujillo.
Yeah, this is more vintage Isaiah Johnson. Blumenfeld had been a very good fighter for Boston, and the type of fighter who changes your comfort zone and will take you out of it with his pressure. But other than that, if a guy can't do that, well, now you're seeing Johnson in top form.
Had a mute. Accidental clash of heads between Johnson and Trujillo, and now 25 seconds to go. Johnson teeing away on Trujillo here in round 5. Some effective single shots, most notably that left hand to the body.
And he's smart in figuring, I'll take the shot. If anything happens to set up a power opportunity, I'll take it. Otherwise, I'm not risking too much. But all of a sudden, he fell in love with that right hook to the body. Maybe thinking, I wish I found it earlier, but what a performance bell to bell from him.
And if you're Philadelphia, you have to be pretty comfortable and confident knowing that Isaiah Johnson is going to run it back with Oscar Trujillo later on in the money rounds.
And here's one reason why. The jab, then the right hook after the jab. And look at the movement. Straight to his opponent, then off to the side. A quick shuffle step. Quick hand speed. Almost like the Rasheem Brown look reinvigorated a couple rounds later. That's Philly, baby.
The winner of round 5 by way of unanimous decision from Philly, Isaiah Johnson. Round 6 at super welterweight. NYC, Lacha Gurgliani. Philly, Jason Moreno.
Round number 6, 2 fighters in their respective third seasons in Team Boxing League. And this round taking place at a catch weight of 160 pounds between Jason Moreno for Philadelphia and Lasha Gergliani. Gergliani and Moreno have never faced one another before.
Gergliani, one of the veterans, along with Ryan Zapoteka, who they're relying on for points. And meanwhile, Jason Moreno has been really hot for Philadelphia. Another one of the unsung heroes that up and down the lineup does not get the attraction and the headlines that other fighters get, but just look how consistent he is.
He's won 5 straight. Oh, and he eats a big left hand that knocked him off balance for a moment from Lasha Gergliani.
It's the best punch New York has thrown in the fight.
Will that have a lasting impression on the judges if Gergliani can continue to remain consistent this round?
Well, when Gergliani is at his best, that's what you see, that hard left hand. We've seen him do that and deliver knockdowns with it in key matches for New York to get them over the top. And right now, they need him to step up. They need somebody to turn the tide here. And what he'll be trying to do is get that left hand over the right hand bomb of Moreno.
Swiped him with another left hand moments ago. Lasha Gergliani with the 2 best connects so far halfway through this round. As for the team score, the Smoke up 5-0 early on here in the launch round phase.
And Moreno is trying to avoid that. He's trying to score the lead right hand, and by doing that, he is opening the door to get caught with that left hand, but he'll trade that for the idea of trying to land his big right hand.
He blocked that left hand moments ago, the last big left hand that Lasha threw.
And if you can jam Gergliani and get him out of his comfort zone for that big left hand he likes to throw, you do have a good chance against him. If you don't, well, he'll trade, and then it's a coin flip.
Final 20 seconds of round 6. Gergliani possibly could be the one to get the defending PBL champs on the board here in the quarterfinals matchup on the road in Philadelphia.
Well, he's had a couple instances of vintage Gergliani. The question will be if the judges believe it's enough. He does right now, and we'll see how they score it. But here are some highlights from the round as he lands that beautiful left hand, beating Moreno to that right hand lead that he wanted. Gergliani sized it up. When he does his best work, it looks like that. And then ties up so that nothing else can happen. The best effort by a New York fighter so far.
TBL fans, the winner of round 6 by way of split decision. From the NYC Attitude, Lasha Gergliani. Round 7 at middleweight, NYC, Justin Figueroa. Billy Steve Cunningham Jr.
So with New York City on the board, thanks to Lasha Gergliani, we move over to 160 pounds yet again, round 7. And this is where it could get interesting. Justin Figueroa, a fighter who carries a lot of momentum here. 14-0 in traditional boxing. Trying to find his way in this TBL format now, 1-3. He's lost 3 straight coming into the playoffs. He's in the green trunks against Steve Cunningham Jr.
Well, we saw he made adjustments against Tracy Magruder in the first fight that he won. You could tell his first time out. took a little while to get his legs going in this format, and then he was able to get a victory. And then the last 2 times was against Rashidi Ellis, and he was representative. He was definitely outpaced by a great fighter, but he was in there, and he's got great composure. He likes the challenge of stepping up into this competition.
As Figueroa and Cunningham Jr. go at it, Figueroa's teammate Melissa St. Ville, she's in action in round number 11 against Stacia Settles, and St. Ville is with our Sofia Gutierrez.
Now, Melissa, these first couple of rounds haven't gone in New York City's way, but this last round, you guys scored a point. How do you make sure you keep that momentum going, feeding off that last round?
Well, first thing is to keep God first and keep the attitude positive, and just remember that we are still champions.
Now, we are going to see you in the ring tonight against Stacia Settles. What can you anticipate with those 2 rounds?
Oh, yes. Shout out to my girl, Stacy, because we really are friends. We both from New York, but we both live in Philly, and we actually live on the same block. But we're going to put on, because I represent autism, and we're both putting on for Hannah Rapp, who just passed away, because we're female fighters, and together we're strong. So we're going to definitely put on a good show.
Melissa, thank you. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Sophia. And Melissa mentioning woman fighter, former title challenger as well, Hannah Rapp, who passed away earlier this week. Really just a tragic and sad scenario. Hit by a driver and passed away. We send our condolences to the Rapp family, as did Melissa St. Ville, who will be in action in round number 11. Cunningham looking comfortable here against Figueroa.
Figueroa comes straight to him and then tries to get into his attack. And Cunningham trying to greet him with the jab, pop, and move.
Philadelphia up 5-1 in the overall team score, looking to continue their quest for a perfect season.
It was a good sneaky right hand by Figueroa that got in. I suspect that as he continues to fight in this league, Justin Figueroa will rely a little bit more on instinct and feel confident just cutting loose.
I tend to agree with you on that. Close range left hand from Figueroa, finding a landing spot upstairs, as well as Cunningham and Figueroa conclude round number 7. Figueroa's too good at the sport to consistently struggle in any type of boxing format.
It's true. I think he will have to just put the ears down and just go and flow. He's looking at situations, people moving, and realizing you've only got 1 minute. And I think that he will cross over and then find his true form.
The winner of round 7 by way of unanimous decision. From Philly, Steve Cunningham Jr. Our final launch round will be in the heavyweight division. NYC, Dusan Veletic. Philly, Concha Nathan.
Dusan Veletic on your screen, 8-4 this season. He beat that gentleman right there, Concha Nathan, on March the 20th. So they meet again here in the quarterfinals.
You know, these teams have a habit of turning the tables on each other. NYC with a ferocious rally in the money rounds to steal Mega Brawl, and then got way out in front of Philadelphia in the launch rounds, and that is the only team to beat Philly in these segments. Philly went 16-1-7 in all of its 8-round segments this year. New York, the only team to get one against them.
They're up 6-1 here in this launch round segment. Second season in TBL for Veletic. Nathan in his 4th season. And he has 5 stoppages to his resume in T-Boxing League. Connects with the left hand from, does Concha Nathan.
Stylistically, you see a little bit of Skylar Lacey of Boston in Veletic. The movement and trying to stay outside and set the pace with his jab. and not let the bigger fighter come in and do stuff like that.
Nathan, a heavyweight who knows what it takes to reach the mountaintop in this league. Won Mega Brawl 2 with the smoke. Was named most valuable fighter in season 2 as Velitic backtracks just a bit. Nathan won the inaugural Mega Brawl with New York City in season 1. So he's the only fighter still to win 2 consecutive TBL titles. Stacey Settles would like to be the second this year.
There's every chance. This is an interesting matter of the styles here, with Velitic not biting on Nathan getting close to him, in which could open up a slugfest. He is linked with the idea of the jabbing and the movement. And for Nathan, he takes a quick step to the right side there and tries to beat him to the point and then score with the right hand.
You can see why the entire left side for Velitic is left completely exposed with that lowered left hand.
He's daring Nathan, but he's also getting ready to hop and get out of there. If you're going to hold your hand that low, be good to be in a different zip code than the guy you're going against. So he's at a distance with Nathan when he does that.
And you see how it's paying off. That right hand from Nathan largely collecting air with each throw.
Because it's a lunge. If you're far enough away from Nathan, it will be a lunge. So Velitic gets style points for ring generalship and where he was on the floor. If he wins, that will be a big reason.
The lone round of the night for both fighters. And we'll see if Velitic can bring New York City closer here in round 8. And it very much was a game of range in this round. And Velitic seemed to have timed it down against Nathan.
TBL fans, the winner of round 8 by way of unanimous decision from the NYC Attitude, Dusan Velitic.
So Velitic keeps New York around at 6-2 for Philadelphia after the launch rounds. Good moments for them. Middle rounds coming up. What's coming up on Team Boxing League? Justin Shackle tells you all about it.
This is the opening playoff matchup between New York City and Philadelphia, but next weekend a full slate of quarterfinal matchups. July 31st, we head to Atlanta, Georgia. Samantha Ginnethan and the Miami Assassins take on Ariel Davis in the Atlanta Attack. August 1st, we're back in the fighting city of Philly as the Phoenix Fury take on the San Antonio Snipers. Then we cap off the weekend as TBL heads back to sunny California when the Las Vegas Hustle host the LA Elite.
major statement. They made an adjustment tactically and also perhaps physically in their teams.
Yeah, Sanchez and Lopez providing some stability at the lower weight classes for LA with their resurgence. And I also think about changes of scenery like Samantha Gannathan going from Phoenix to Miami this year. She has been on a terrific run. Big reason why Miami has one of the top seeds. All right, most valuable player. You talk about some heavy hitters with a wide variety of success. D'Angelo Leachman for Nashville bursted onto the scene. And Stacia Suttles, like we talk about changes of scenery, but the same old consistency for this 140-pounder.
Yes, and Philadelphia was delighted that she joined Jesse Hart and made them quite a strong team. Jesse Hart strong all year long. He's also a vocal leader on this team. And Ariel Davis, the human cash register for points. She has meant everything to Atlanta, got them into the playoffs.
How about some new faces bursting on the scene? We talk about Yosdiel Napolis for Miami. He has been a game changer for the Assassins, as has Yordan Barrera. One of the big questions for Phoenix was how they were going to replace a fighter like Rahman Muhammad. Well, Barrera has filled the void, and steadiness personified for Rashidi Ellis and the Boston Butchers.
He's probably the face of that team, and he is certainly the heart and soul of it.
All right, Rookie of the Year as well. Their first year in Team Boxing League, also with less than 4 pro fights. Zay Farr has helped Houston really escape from the basement, but Azariah Cottrell, strong amateur pedigree, making a name for herself.
Had 2 victories over Shaquille Ellis, first lifetime defeats for her. Cottrell, maybe a long-time possible MVP candidate in this league, and we'll see how it all shakes out. We'll see her in the playoffs.
Walden and Bartiel, 2 big reasons why their respective teams have put themselves in the postseason conversation. And how about Lysandra Contreras just making the smoke even stronger this year?
Yeah, really great Philadelphia women, and she has made a big impact up at the top, and all of a sudden making that Philly team look even more formidable.
A couple of other categories. Most entertaining fighter, Ryan Pino, Rashidi Ellis, Giovanni Estella. You also have Tierra Brandt from the Phoenix Fury. King Kong Ortiz, a mid-season addition to the Miami Assassins, making an impact as well. And also most resilient fighter, ages 37 and older, Steve Cunningham Sr., who we'll see with Philadelphia later tonight. Also King Kong Ortiz here, and Melissa St. Ville, 42 years young, Dave.
That's right. They have done a great job, and King Kong Ortiz made big thunderous sounds when he came in and helped revolutionize that Miami team.
And then we get to the IME. Look, it doesn't fit into the EGOT, but iconic moment of the year. We go down this list. There were plenty of them. Round 16 and 22 between LA and Las Vegas. Also in early May, a terrific matchup between Houston and Dallas that was unforgettable. And all the way into June, we talked about the launch for Luis Ortiz, making his presence known in that KO exchange with Millard. And then Coach of the Year, Bob Kane, who, of course, is heading the Philadelphia Smoke all the way down to A.C. Bryant III, getting San Antonio back in the playoff mix.
All of them have done a great job. Bob Kane, the loquacious one, we joke about him. Herman Caicedo, a phenomenal job with Miami to get them surging.
Also, Fight of the Year, leading it off opening weekend, round 10 from March 22nd. Bracamontes and Rodriguez. Later on, mid-April, this bout between San Antonio and Los Angeles, as Bartiel, again a Rookie of the Year nominee, gets the best of Raul Solomon. And then this was one of the big matchups in the regular season schedule. Houston picking off Dallas.
And with this victory, got their first win of the season and then electrified their bench.
This could be a round of the year winner, though, between Suttles and the newcomer Sage Rosario.
Yeah, Sage Rosario had a knockout the week before, called out Stacia Suttles, and they had 2 excellent matchups.
From newcomer to veterans, Estella and Elrod, they look sharp in this May 31st matchup between Miami and Nashville. But then June 6th, Sambiaku and Rodriguez going toe-to-toe.
Yeah, one of the great moments that we had in the league this year. Great rounds, some great iconic moments. Pick your favorite and vote on it, and we'll find out soon enough.
And we will find out on September 6th. You can use the QR code on your screen to go to teamboxingleague.com, cast your ballot, and vote for our postseason nominees. It is award season in Team Boxing League. Philadelphia has a 6-2 lead as we head over to the middle rounds, and we highlighted the heavyweights in the launch rounds. We're going to do the same here in the middle rounds. Round 16 to watch. Danny Barlow, Eric Ross. One of the big questions is if Ross can stay undefeated here.
Yeah, and Barlow has come in here from a UFC background and all of a sudden picked up many boxing style points faster than most fighters do. He has been on a surge, and he's going against a guy who's been a terrific fighter.
Well, we'll see if Philadelphia can continue its climb here and provide more separation. Let's go back inside the ring at 2300 Arena with Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to begin the middle rounds between the NYC Attitude and Billy Smoke. Round 9 at featherweight. NYC Natalie Sembuteca. Billy Maria Antunes.
Maybe a reset here for New York City as we start round number 9. The 18-year-old Natalie Sembuteca and Maria Antunes. These two going at it in round 9. They'll connect again in round 18. Sembuteca in the green fight kit, Antunes in the purple.
And they'll go right to it. It's a different style that Antunes is fading. She lost to Chastity Roberts, giving away a little bit of height and reach. Here, they are similar, and they go right at it. 2 walk-in sluggers so far.
Antunes in the purple has lost 4 straight rounds, has yet to face Natalie. You have a 34-year-old and an 18-year-old going at it. Natalie Sembuteca 8-6 in her rookie season. She closed it out strong, 3 straight round wins.
She came in talking a pretty good game, like all the New York fighters. It's a prerequisite. She said, all I want to do is be better than my brother, Ryan. And she's been making a good point. It's been a good find for this New York team.
Her older brother, Ryan, in the on-deck circle, is up next against tonight's anthem singer, Nahir Albright. Good overhand right, connecting from Antunes.
And there is a lot of opportunity on both sides for these fighters with how they're fighting. Up close, taking chances, winging their best offensive threats, and there's another good right hand by Sembuteca.
It was Natalie Sembuteca who scored a win over Lysandra Contreras back on opening night. And since then, Contreras hasn't lost. But those two women not meeting one another here in the quarterfinals. And this is one of the interesting aspects of this head-to-head matchup, Dave. When you look up and down this bout sheet, my first reaction was there aren't too many rematches from the regular season from these prior 2 meetings.
No, and they've evolved. Both of these teams have come along since March, and then their second fight. Those who have come to the forefront, like Contreras for Philadelphia, now having won 10 in a row. And there's a lot of jockeying for the coaches, and we'll see it even more in the money rounds.
Less than 30 seconds to go in the 9th round. Sembuteca trying to counter the more active Antunes at the moment.
Yeah, there's a good left hand by Antunes that gets in. They both scored well with right hands, so the separator might be who the judges think is more effective with their jab.
Well, it may look a bit sloppy, and they may be tying up, but in between all of that, Antunes didn't stop coming forward or throw her hands, and that may be enough in the eyes of some of the judges.
There's one good bomb from Antunes. Brought it from all the way across town, and then Sembuteca answered. It was a war of right hands for the first half of this match. Then the left hook gets in for Antunes, but at all times, they would go in and launch for big shots.
CBL fans, the winner of round 9 by way of unanimous decision from NYC, Natalie Zeboteka. Round 10 at lightweight, NYC, Ryan Zeboteka. Philly, Nahir Albright.
So Philadelphia raced out to a 5-0 lead, but you look up now and New York City has taken 3 of the last 4 rounds. And Zeboteka, Natalie, winning round number 9. Now here's her brother Ryan in the green trunks going up against Nahir Albright.
Well, said at the top, New York will cling to Philadelphia like a pest. And so after being down 5, they've cut it to 5-3. And 2 of their best hopes up at the top of the middle rounds with the Zempo family.
Ryan Zeboteka, 8-5 this season, lost 3 of his last 4 rounds. 3rd all-time meeting with Nahir Albright. They met early last season and Albright won both rounds. And for Nahir, he just made his return to Philly's roster in week 15. Picking up a pair of wins July 12th. Here he is, good to go for the playoffs. He's been busy in traditional boxing.
And that's where he had focused, and he's done a very profitable route in professional boxing. Came back to Philly just in time to give this team another shot in the arm. And he goes up against the points leader, the net points leader from New York.
It's been a good year for Nahir's pocket. Could be a good year if he's able to latch onto this Philly roster. And we know he could be a bright spot if they're able to complete a perfect season and win the Mega Brawl.
He's very good at fundamentals. He really sticks to his task, just like what you'd have to do to be a singer. Very strong sense of details all the way through. He was strong for Philly last year, and he's a great guy to have back just in time now.
He went the distance, but fell to Keyshawn Davis back on May 16th as the main event in Davis's hometown of Norfolk. And before that, he recorded a unanimous draw against Frank Martin in late February in Las Vegas on a Ryan Garcia undercard. So those are 2 top flight contenders as opponents for Nahir Albright.
I think it gives you a performance edge when you come back to a different format, when you've been in the spotlight, when you've been on big cards and huge crowds. It raises your expectation when you go into something else.
Albright is making Zeboteka miss with a lot of those shots, and then he's able to get that jab in. He's controlling the distance with about 25 seconds to go, and he lands a quality right hand, then another and a third from Nahir Albright.
He stuck with those fundamentals, and finally a right hand open. That was a great 2-way strategy. Keep the jab out so you don't get caught, and then if opportunity shows up, go for it.
And now both fighters going for broke. Ryan Zeboteka throwing some wide shots in the closing seconds against Nahir Albright.
Well, he was sharp with that right hand counter in this fight, especially in the last minute. So very steady, jab, jab, I won't make mistakes, and then I will fire the right hand when I see opportunity. You didn't see Pipes Albright getting caught too much, but he got close there, sensed the chance, closed the distance, and opened up, and still had enough head movement to avoid a counter.
CBL fans, the winner of round 10 by way of split decision from Philly, Nahir Albright. Round 11 at super lightweight, NYC Melissa St. Phil, Philly Stacia Suttles.
an important win for Philly because of the link now from Albright to Suttles.
There is the former world title contender, Melissa Saintville, the 42-year-old Haitian native, going up against Stacia Suttles, an MVP nominee here in 2026. Also in the running for Fight of the Year with her round against Sage Rosario back on May the 30th. And league leader in total net points, an 11-2 regular season mark.
That's for everybody in the league. And she has been unflappable in these fights, with the exception of when she fought Ariel Davis, who could make anybody look like they're not having a good night.
Saintville giving a lot up in height, 5 inches.
And you look at the conformation of Suttles. Terrific balance, always in good punching position after she throws. Doesn't lean out of position. These are all the things that help you not defeat yourself.
Good stick and maneuvering from Stacia Suttles. Now the volume picking up as well in terms of the punches from Stacia Suttles. Saintville wisely holding on at this moment.
Saintville was walking in. Suttles saw that chance for the uppercut. That will be a good weapon for her throughout this fight.
Harvey Duck calling time here and deducting some points from Melissa Saintville. You know, Dave, I wonder early on in this fight and before that point deduction, if Saintville thought, hey, the only way I'm going to be able to win and make my mark on a fighter like Suttles is if, one, I do make it a little bit dirty and try the best I can to close the gap, and at the same time throw a bunch of power shots, because we saw 2 specific shots from Saintville earlier this round that displayed her pretty good power that hasn't been lost despite her being in her early 40s.
Yeah, she wanted to get inside the jab of Suttles and then work on the inside, shorten the gap, and make it ugly, shorten the fight as well. If you can get away with not being called, you can take a 3-minute fight down to maybe about 2 minutes and 20 seconds and then take your chances in those areas. But Suttles, there's that uppercut I talked about, has been unflappable, and then the big hooks, and she may have a chance for more here.
Good counter from Saintville. With Suttles asserting herself here in round number 11. And we'll see if she gets her hand raised again. These 2 fighters doing it again later on in round number 19.
You know, Saintville never lost her smile, even as she was getting hit. There's the good jab by Suttles, the uppercut. There's where the heads came together. Fortunately, no gash that can affect these fighters. That was a good right hand by Saintville. That's what she was trying to line up. And there's the uppercut by Suttles from a little far out. But if she got it a little bit tighter, that would have even been more lethal.
TBL fans, the winner of round 11 by way of unanimous decision. From the Philly Smoke, Stacia Suttles. Round 12 at welterweight, NYC, Ryan Pino. Philly, Andrea Cedeno.
Some t-shirts going into the crowd here at 2300 Arena. Sold out Sunday crowd in Philadelphia. Ryan Pino, Hendry Cedeno, La Bazooka about to get into the ring. as Philadelphia finds itself ahead 8-3 over New York City.
Excellent matchup as Pino dropped Thomas Blumenfeld in a big moment in their fight in which New York eventually beat Boston 19-10. That was one of the forerunners to get them in here. So he can have big nights. He was 3-9 at one point, but then he got the big knockdown. So he's a big moment guy, and Cedeno was unbeaten outside TBL.
Big moment guy. Reason why he's a nominee for most entertaining fighter. Henry Cedeno out of the Dominican Republic. Pino from Puerto Rico originally. Cedeno capping a 3-3 regular season. He has never faced Ryan Pino in TBL. Winds up and misses with the overhand right.
That is the beauty about TBL. Fighters on a similar trajectory will be not allowed to fight each other in the pro formats outside of TBL as their careers are being built. But you come in here, you help a team, and if you're about 500, you're an asset to that team.
Pino leading it with his head a moment ago. Dangerous spot.
So when Pino dropped Blumenfeld, it was a situation like this. He's getting attacked, and he found a room to score with a counter right hand. So he sets up shop here, but it is a dangerous place.
Cedeno fencing with his jab to try and set up that right hand. Hasn't been able to connect directly against Ryan Pino. So a good job by the NYC welterweight from getting out of that angle. But the punches continue to flow here from Cedeno. Pino's going to have to start answering back like he did just there. But again, oh, what a beautiful right uppercut. One that Pino surely did not see coming in.
Yeah, it hadn't been thrown before. Hook, right hand, and the sneaky uppercut on the inside, and the one you don't see does a lot of damage. And here, basically, Pino is looking for one shot as he goes against the ropes. And that's a tough way to win a fight because everything else is going against him here as Cedeno teeing off.
These punches from Cedeno, they're catching part of Ryan Pino as he counters back. He's able to catch a susceptible Cedeno on the way in. But I think the overall volume from Cedeno could be what separates him in the eyes of the judges.
Yes, and it looks like he's the one effective in here. If you're going to fight against the ropes, you almost have to make it look to the judges like you're toying with your opponent and making him come to you, and that has not been the case here.
Yeah, not happening right now with Ryan Pino. And yet he still opts to stay on the ropes. 15 seconds to go in the 12th round.
It's a style that rewarded him in his last fight, but did not work for him here. You saw the left hook get in, showing you that there are moments he will have, but not enough of them.
And now they're brawling in the middle of the ring, but time running out. And I'm with you, Dave. There have been some quality counters from Pino over that sequence of 3 minutes, but probably not enough for the punch volume of Henry Cedeno.
And that's when you might be trapped into thinking, okay, this worked for me the last fight, I'll try it again here. And Cedeno did not let it happen because he made room for himself. He would punch and then dart out of the direct path of the right hand, and these uppercuts were pulverizing that Cedeno was able to land. Very smart fighter, and watch how he guards himself as he comes in. The left hand comes up, not getting reckless while he was being aggressive.
Fans, the winner of round 12 by way of unanimous decision from Philly, Henry Cedeno.
Cedeno does enough. Philadelphia on top 9-3 halfway through. 12 more rounds to go. Can NYC make it a battle? We'll be back after this. challenge for the TBL playoffs. Brackets cannot be filled out after 8:30 p.m. tonight. No, it's about 5 minutes from now. Just go to tblstats.com/playoffs for your chance to predict this season's Mega Brawl champion. Philadelphia 9, New York City 3. Time for round 13. Let's go back to Ray.
Round 13 at super middleweight. NYC, Javier Martinez. Philly, Zaire Jefferson.
Martinez and Jefferson kicking off round 13. Two lanky 168-pounders. Jefferson, 26 years of age in his first season in Team Boxing League. Martinez 5-0 in his rookie season.
He's been someone to look to now for the leadership. We highlighted him at the start of the show. Nice winning streak that he has. Workmanlike. That's basically what his style has been. He'll dart, he'll move, try to get away from the big right-hand lead. He's done fairly well in inside battles. But basically, he's a stylist, and that's when he got caught because he got too far inside and didn't cover up.
Each of these fighters pretty good range as Martinez lands with a straight left hand for 168-pounders. Martinez with a 72-inch reach as a right hand comes through from Zaire Jefferson.
So how do you take away that big reach? Well, your first move can be a defensive one and a subtle one just to slip inside the jab hand, and then you have the edge. He's been able to get inside, has Jefferson, and do his best work.
Jefferson angles himself out of the path from some of those punches. Defense on display from Zaire Jefferson in round 13. And he comes through with a right uppercut.
Martinez continues to stalk and try to do what brought him here, which is the movement, and then try to unload his shots before the uppercut hits him.
Well, each fighter leaving themselves open upstairs for what aesthetically looks like some punishing shots.
It's entertainment for the fans. It makes the coaches cringe, but you know, the style of this fight has evolved into brawl-like symptoms at times. Now it is Jefferson cutting off the ring effectively.
Final 30 seconds. Each fighter going for it as Philadelphia tries to extend its lead, up by 6 at the moment in the head-to-head team score.
Jefferson trying to time Martinez's left hand. He's landed a few counters. Martinez has landed some good left hands as well. And it's been some big shots landed by both fighters. Who do the judges believe is most consistent?
Well, they're going to go again in round 20, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, see what adjustments they make. There's the good right hand underneath by Jefferson. Some good defense there. That was his defensive medley, and he gets rewarded for doing that by having the chance to land the uppercut, and this was his best sustained action caught right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of round 13 by way of unanimous decision from NYC, Javier Martinez.
So Martinez and his big shots and some ring generalship is rewarded. That's a big win for New York.
Round 14 at light heavyweight, NYC, Sean McColeman. Philly, Jesse Hortz.
Light heavyweight action in round number 14, and this is a big round for Philadelphia. Up by 5. Can Jesse Hart take care of business against Sean McCalman? Hart, an MVP nominee, began this season, though, 2-2. He has since won 10 straight fights, including 2 straight rounds against McCalman to begin that streak.
Yeah, he's up there at the top. Those losses against Johanna Martinez, who's become a star in the league. Hart got the first knockout of the year back in week 1, referenced by the New York coaching staff. It was Hart that delivered the knockout that put Philly in front and changed the course of that fight.
McCalman an 8-5 start in his rookie season, won 3 straight to close out the regular season campaign for NYC. And you can tell this is going to be a physical and chippy 14th round between these two.
Jesse Hart knows his share of tricks. And whether it's getting you in tight, landing a quick shot on the break, or anything to give himself an edge. Very interesting that Bob Kane put Stacia Suttles in the 3rd slot here, and then right behind you've got Jesse Hart, because the second half of the fight and the end of the middle rounds has traditionally been a very strong area for Philadelphia.
And Jesse Hart is usually lurking between rounds 14 and 16 when you first see him on any given night.
When you've seen Philly do like the bridge work of end of the middle rounds and the beginning of the money rounds, and they've scored a lot of victories that way.
Hart landing a pair of right hands a few moments ago. Right there, McCalman first with that lead left.
The positioning of Suttles and Hart making it difficult for NYC to put a lot of rounds together. There's a big stopper in the middle in those spots for Philly.
Final 40 seconds to play with. Been a lot of physicality between McCalman and Hart. And that left hook finds a home from Jesse Hart here in round 14.
There's the defensive prowess first by Jesse Hart. Not getting hit, not taking unnecessary chances, and then landing the shot. And it is McCalman who has to initiate the holding.
There you see it again with that right hand of McCalman holding the left of Jesse Hart.
And that's 3 sequences in a row that McCalman had to do that to hold on. And he'll get to the bell, but the judges will no doubt see that holding and probably take it into account. There's the good left hook by Hart. Follow-ups missed. That one did not miss. The second shot keeps himself balanced, and that was probably the best individual sequence for Jesse Hart in that round.
TBL fans, the winner of round 14 by way of split decision. From the NYC Attitude, Sean McCalman.
Might be our first surprise tonight.
I guess the judges like the holding. 9-5. Things getting interesting now. New York City
Round
hovering
15
around as we go to round 15.
NYC, Tasha Talley. Philly, Steve Cunningham, Sr.
Talley in his last outing showed some of his most sharp skills in the entire season. Good right hands, sharpness, his timing was excellent. And he looked at, if he followed that form, he would be difficult for opponents in the postseason.
Here in round 15, a pair of cruiserweights going at it. A little bit earlier, Ryan Zapoteka, mainstay on this New York City roster, was in action right now. He's down ringside with Sophia.
That That's right, Ryan. Now, you guys are chasing points, not going your way so far, but what needs to change to make sure you guys get some points up on the scoreboard?
Honestly, we just got to stay the momentum we're having right now. Right now, we just beat Jesse Hart. You know, we had the whole house hyped up, and finally we took the win against him. So right now, we just got to stay at this momentum, and I strongly believe we can win this fight, honestly.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Yes, New York City closing the gap right now. Winners of 2 straight rounds. And effectively negating Jesse Hart, an MVP nominee here in the lone round that we're going to see him tonight.
And there was a huge swing because that was looking like that might be a 6-point lead for Philadelphia. Now it's 4. That's within 1 knockout. And New York has a very good fighter in there right now.
That's Tessia Talley. 6-5 regular season for the NYC cruiserweight. And the USS Cunningham Sr., the former cruiserweight world champion, Steve Cunningham.
Now he will try to use his guile, and Tessia Talley will try to make his age an issue.
This is the 4th meeting of the season between these two. Cunningham won 2 of the first 3.
Talley trying to cut off the ring here. Good left hook by Talley.
Cunningham not taking advantage of Talley leaning in when he's throwing on offense.
Good lead right hand by Cunningham, and then a little tie-up action. Shave a few seconds off the clock if you need to.
Cunningham using an effective jab near the end of this round.
And facing a fighter who displayed his best hand speed now for the 2nd consecutive outing. Found a new level in his last fight and did try to carry it forward.
Bit of an awkward showing from Cunningham. Connected with the right hand near the end, but then found himself way out of position. His back actually turned to Talley. These two will do it again at round 22.
And you think the pressure is big now. What will the score be when they face each other then?
You can feel it percolating right now. Again, a 4-point lead. That could be turned around very quickly in this league.
TBL fans, the winner of round 15 by way of a split decision. From Philly, Steve Cunningham Sr.
Well, that's a big answer for Philadelphia.
Our final medal round will be in the heavyweight division. NYC, Danny Barlow. Philly, Eric Ross.
And a round to watch in the middle rounds, and a big one at that at the moment. Philadelphia going back up by 5, and can Eric Ross, their heavyweight, who is undefeated, continue to carry the torch as he faces Danny Barlow here?
The rapidly ascending Danny Barlow coming over from MMA and learning the boxing trade faster than most people that have come into it. So that is his calling card. And then the other side, well, you know, Ross beat a very good Tavares V. And he faced a very good lefty and was able to get the victory in a tough outing.
Can the 6'7" Ross pick up his 6th win of the season? His 10th win in his TBL career. Barlow, as Dave mentioned, getting an introduction into the sweet science. 6-4 his TBL career, and he rocks Ross. And now it might have woken up Ross as well as he tries to fire back.
Yeah, he really did. Beautiful skills there by Danny Barlow as he landed a good shot. I don't even think if he was 10 or 15 pounds heavier, what that might have been. This is a lighter fighter moving into this 205 plus category. Made Ross more tentative since then. Now Ross gets an opportunity and has Barlow backed up.
Barlow slipping through, but he can't connect. And Ross a bit hesitant to enter the pocket, but once he's inside, he has no fear. He's going to throw his hands.
It's that cover price you have to pay to get there. And you see Barlow as he eats a left hand. His right hands have to travel the overland route to get there against the taller fighter. Not easy to get that in. So that might take away something from the outside and make him stand closer to take his shot. What Danny Barlow has done, squares up a lot and gives himself a chance to punch from both sides, which may rob you of some power. But from a boxing standpoint, he's really shown a lot of skills for just getting into this.
And there's a 1-2 combo. He finds the chin of Ross. But then Ross coming inside, like we said. Once he's in there, it's a free-for-all. And Barlow catches him out of position. This one's going back and forth. Final 10 seconds between these two heavyweights. Has Barlow done enough to pick off Ross for the first time in Team Boxing League? Can he close out the middle rounds on a high note for New York City? And a very entertaining bout between these two heavyweights comes to a close.
Every bit of a round to watch as the trajectory of Danny Barlow went higher in the beginning as he landed that big left hand, almost dropped Ross. Maybe a classic cruiserweight he would have dropped with that, but Ross able to maintain it. And if Ross wins, it's the bigger man having a little bit more. This one's very tight.
Remind you, they'll meet in round 24.
TBL fans, the winner of round 16 by way of unanimous decision. From Philly, Eric Roos.
So Eric Ross comes away victorious. He and Steve Cunningham take the final 2 rounds for Philadelphia. They have an 11-5 lead over New York City, 8 rounds away from advancing to the semifinals. We're back after this. Back in Philadelphia, money rounds on the wane. Philadelphia has an 11-5 lead on New York City in the first of 4 TBL quarterfinal matchups with the postseason beginning here tonight. We welcome you back inside our TBL studios. Justin Shackle, Dave Bontempo with you. Tell you what, New York City, they were narrowing the gap at one point in the middle rounds, but thanks to Steve Cunningham and thanks to Eric Ross, 2 of the upper weight stalwarts for this Philadelphia squad, they are showing why there are layers to this lineup. They come up with 2 big wins.
Philadelphia very good at the bottom of the middle rounds as always. And as we said at the top, Philly beat you by a little bit in each segment. You look up, you say, how come we're down by 6? We were so close. The last 3 rounds were very close. Could have went either way. Philly got 2, New York got 1.
I think that great start is fostering this Philadelphia lead right now. Let's take a look at how this night began. It started with a Rookie of the Year contender in Lissandra Contreras. And early on, we talked about Contreras, Rasheem Brown, Shaquille Ellis, and Angel Hernandez. They're responsible for a 4-0 lead right out of the gate.
Philly very strong at the top. The women setting the example there. Rasheem Brown, like basically the poster child of how good that slide and glide Philadelphia team is with their boxing fundamentals. And Philly got off to that start. New York's been chasing them since.
And in the middle rounds, Natalie Zempelteca, Maria Antunes, and New York City trying to carve into this Philadelphia lead. Zempelteca doing what it took to outlast the 34-year-old Antunes. And then in round number 12, Ryan Pino and Hendry Cedeno, and the fists were flowing from Cedeno.
Yeah, this was a great fight as he came wailing, and Pino had been trying to lay on the ropes and counter as he had done in a previous fight. The strategy did not pay off this time, and Philly kept pace, kept serve the whole middle rounds.
Well, we take a look at the money round portion. Round number 18, a good round to watch here. Zempelteca and Antunes, round number 2. This was a close round in the middle rounds, but it was the 18-year-old doing just enough to edge out Antunes, so we're going to see it again.
Yes, we'll see that one, and there's a few more that are going to be very good. We just saw a preview of round 24. It could get very exciting down the home stretch depending on what happens in the next 3 or 4 fights.
Does New York City have what it takes to try and rally against the 8-0 smoke, or will Philadelphia sail on into the semifinals? We're 8 rounds away from finding out. Let's get him started. Money rounds time. Here's Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to begin the money rounds between the NYC Attitude and Philly Smoke. Round 17 at featherweight. NYC, Abril Anguiano. Philly, Shaquille Ellis.
Well, Shaquille Ellis moved to 5-0 with a unanimous decision over Abril Anguiano back in round number 3. That's 5-0 in this head-to-head matchup between the 2 fighters in the ring. So she's trying to pick up her 6th win of the season against Anguiano here and continue to provide a little separation for Philadelphia.
And the strategy starts to kick in from the coaches here. The way it works, if Justin and I have a team, I get the first selection. Justin gets the second one for the first fight. Then Justin gets the next one. And they go back and forth. So Bob Kane decided to put one of his stars up on top in the money rounds here.
Ellis hitting and moving here against Anguiano.
And even though we haven't had the big 4-pointers, it's been an anaconda effect by Philadelphia squeezing the points out here and up 6 down. If Philly was to win, then New York would have to win out to cause a tie. That's without the bonus points, of course, but that's the type of pressure Philly is on the verge of placing upon New York.
Bob Kane has been quoted, the head coach for the Philadelphia Smoke, just talking about stacking rounds methodically. Nothing fancy. His fighters are talented enough where you don't need the extra points. They've obviously proved that throughout the season.
I mean, how about this? Since March, all these 8-round segments, the launch rounds, the middle rounds, the money rounds, since the first segment against New York, Philly has not lost one single 8-round matchup all over that time. That's a deep team.
The Smoke trying to advance to the semifinals for a third straight season. Shaquille Ellis in the ring right now. Been a big cog in that success over the last 2 years.
And here she's trying to win the battle of inches. And Guerrero not missing by much, but just enough that Ellis can pop out a jab and score.
Good right hand coming out of the chamber from Shaquille Ellis, and another one followed up by the left. Shaquille Ellis putting her best work of the round in right here over the final seconds. The right hand leading the way for Ellis. She's confident that she has a 2-round sweep over Anguiano tonight.
Critical juncture of this matchup, stayed within herself. There's that left hook in the right hand, even as she's backing up. Measures the playing field first and right to the jab. You have to love that patience. She had just scored 2 big shots, and then next situation only offered the jab. So that's what she took.
Of round 17 by way of unanimous decision from the Philly Smoke, Shaquille Ellis. Round 18 at featherweight, NYC Natalie Zemboteca, Philly Maria Antunes.
Well, that win for Shaquille Ellis was her 30th all-time in TBL. A 30-2 record in 2 seasons.
Unreal, the efficiency there. This is a team with a 40-win performer in Rasheen Brown, a 30-win for her, and also Jesse Hart with a whole bunch of wins, and this is a veteran squad.
18-year-old Natalie Zemboteca back in the ring, trying to go 2 for 2 here tonight against Maria Antunes. Antunes, the former leader of the Honduran national team. Zemboteca, 14-time national amateur champion here in the U.S.
There's that right hand by Zemboteca, trying to get Antunes to come to her first. And at some point soon, the attitude fighters be thinking about gambling. They'll have to go for the knockout and leave themselves vulnerable in that effort.
Get off the neck, get off the neck, quick, quick. Get off the neck.
Dave, you say that. I'm just looking up and down the balance sheet for these money rounds. That could lead to some serious fireworks. Yeah. And it could conversely lead to some big-time potential extra points for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It could work against New York City.
Yeah, they have no choice. They have to gamble, and that may not be their strength, but they can't. The time to stack is running out for New York, and so they will have to open up, and that's just a predicament you hate to find yourself in.
Veteran of the game, Antunes locking up the right hand of Zemboteca while she fires away with that straight left. And if David Fields isn't going to see it, keep going. see Natalie's older brother Ryan jumping up and down the corral in the background as Antunes lands a couple of quality punches.
Well, New York needs somebody to land a spark in that corral, because Philly has been making its patented end of the middle rounds, early money round surge. Zempotenko will try to stem that.
So far, though, this has been a good rebound type of round for Marie Antunes. Will it be enough to sway the judges and the scorecards? We'll find out shortly, but Antunes has looked like she has effectively controlled this round. She sideswipes Zempotenko again with that right hand.
And this would mark Philadelphia's second 4-point run in this matchup. They started out 4-0, and they would like to extend their lead into where the math becomes a problem, real problem for New York, which they will if they get this one. Antunes putting the pressure on, then the right hand gets through. So good left hand. She had good persistent pressure.
Benz, the winner of round 18 by way of unanimous decision from NYC, Natalie Zempotenko.
Zempotenko keeps New York within hailing range and gets a nice double for herself.
At super lightweight, NYC, Melissa St. Bill, Philly, Stasia Soodles.
Round 2 between St. Bill and Suttles. Stasia Suttles throughout this season, she has operated in the role of closer for this Philadelphia squad, has really put head-to-head bouts to bed. She's also scored a lot of extra points for her particular weight class. And right out of the gate, you were seeing a more aggressive St. Bill who knows that she needs to act for her team. Again, probably not this type of style fight that she would want to be in, but take a look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, they're down 6. They would have to win every one of them to get a tie. Bonus points would be very helpful, but this is the last place they would be expecting to get bonus points. Suttles leaving New York and going to Philly may have been the biggest factor in strengthening one team and hurting another team.
Suttles connecting with the left hook moments ago, followed it up with the right, and then some body work. And there again, pumping the left hand upstairs against St. Bill. I mean, you have 240-pounders, but the body profile looks like sometimes that St. Bill is punching, is trying to push across the sled.
Yeah, when you look at their body conformation, I suspect that Suttles is actually a weight class or 2 above her. That's how her muscles are apportioned on her body. She looks chiseled.
That long reach is swarming Melissa St. Bill. Oh, she rocked St. Bill right on the top of her forehead. A minute 15 to go, and Suttles has landed some punishing shots.
What makes her tough to go against, along with the long reach and the power she's got, is her exquisite balance. Always in punching position after she throws.
Good right hand, starting up a quality 3-punch combo from Stasia Suttles.
St. Bill is fighting for survival, doesn't care about the warnings. Even if they take something, she's up against a massive challenge here.
Suttles continuing to apply that pressure in between, landing some really big-time connects. You also have to praise, again, at 42 years of age, the toughness and the durability of St. Bill. Some of these punches may have knocked other fighters down for some extra points. Look at this.
Suttles loading up. I guess in a few seconds they can become friends again.
This has been a round of punishment administered by Stacia Suttles, racking St. Ville, having her on wobbly legs, where the veteran stays on her feet. Nevertheless, Suttles looks like she has cruised her way to another victory.
It was all St. Ville could do to stay up, which she did. Right out of the chute, Suttles' right hand gets in, setting the tone, backing St. Ville up. Her left hook beat St. Ville's left hook to the mark. And there's the right hand from distance, utilizing her height and reach, and then she goes right downstairs. An ideal matchup there for Philadelphia.
GBL fans, the winner of round 19 by way of unanimous decision from the Philly Smoke, Stacia Suttles. Round 20 at super middleweight, NYC Javier Martinez, Philly Zaire Jefferson.
Well, this was a good scrap earlier on in the middle rounds. Round number 13, it was won by Javier Martinez. And we get a second dose. Jefferson in the purple, Martinez in the green. And it's Philadelphia up by 7 here in round number 20.
Martinez staying perfect, and you see him ascending on the leaderboard.
Now 6-0 after that first win earlier tonight.
And if you're Jefferson, you have to wonder what adjustments he might make. He fought well as far as the pressure went the first time. It's one thing if you decide I'm going to step up the pressure and be more active. But he had Martinez countering and moving, so maybe his adjustment would be to try and cut off the ring a little better.
Overhand left from Javier Martinez, and then he goes downstairs to do some body work.
Well, that's been his money punch this year, setting the stage with the strong left hand. But he eats a good right hand right there from Jefferson.
Keep him up, keep him up. Quick.
A little over a minute to go in the 20th round. Can Martinez make it 2 for 2 against Zaire Jefferson? Or can the Philadelphia 168-pounder pick up another point for his team as it looks to punch his ticket to the semifinals? Left hook from Jefferson landing. Martinez trying to shove him off, create some distance.
Martinez in the first fight did some of his best work when he could get some lateral movement going and change the angle. And he's had a fighter here who's been closer to him and made the circling a little bit more difficult to do.
Right hand again from Jefferson. And a counter shot, a couple of them from Jefferson. Last minute or so, Zaire Jefferson separating himself a bit. And mouth Martinez wide open as the seconds trickle down here in round number 20. This was a better showing from Zaire Jefferson.
Yeah, the movement for Martinez not as prominent as the first time, and give Jefferson credit for taking some of that away with some good body work that slowed him up. good example of Jefferson having a target right in front of him here. Does eat the left hand, and that was vintage Martinez at the beginning, but there's Jefferson getting his and getting out of the way, and later on he would negate the movement Martinez likes to do.
TBL fans, the winner of round 20 by way of unanimous decision from NYC, Javier Martinez. We would like to thank our fight sponsors.
Well, the overhand left from Javier Martinez making a mark as he picks up a victory. And New York City still lurking. It's a 6-point lead for Philadelphia. Final 4 rounds coming up. Well, Philadelphia is hoping to become title town. LeBron James signing with the Sixers, the resurgent Philadelphia Phillies. And here the Philadelphia Smoke on a quest for a perfect TBL season. 4 rounds away from a trip to the semis. Let's get back to the action with the 21st round.
Round 21 at welterweight, NYC, Oscar Trujillo. Philly, Isaiah Johnson.
Oscar Trujillo in his second round of the night against Isaiah Johnson, who's able to take the first round way back in the 5th. That started up a 5-0 cushion for Philadelphia, and they have never trailed.
No, New York has gotten it as close as 3. But Philly has always been a safe distance after that.
Here we go. Round number 21 underway between Trujillo and Johnson. Jesse Hart in action earlier. Now he's a spectator. He's also with Sophia.
Jesse, incredible night for you guys so far. Tell me, what have you liked that this team has done so far tonight?
They all came out guns blazing from the door, you know, not trying to give up any part of the round, any minute of the round. And I think that's been the difference between, you know, us in New York. My team didn't give up, let up, not 1 minute, not 1 second. We all fought all 3 minutes of every round.
Now, looking ahead, I have to ask you, who is a dream opponent that you'd like to face in the playoffs?
The dream team that I would like to face, Miami again, because they got Luis Ortiz, and they believe that's going to be the difference between them and us. But I mean, it really don't matter. But that if I had a choice, I would choose Miami.
Thanks, Jesse. Send it back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Sophia. And as far as matchups go, Jesse Hart not hiding away from that question, not giving us athlete speak.
No,
he gives us the truth.
That's why he's one of the leaders on this team, and I've said a couple times I could see him coaching in this league because he's been that much of a force vocally on that Philly team. And like they say, be careful what you wish for. You may get Miami.
There you go. Good.
Trujillo trying to hammer away on the body of Isaiah Johnson, who's been in command thus far. Johnson doing a great job countering Trujillo on his way inside.
And Trujillo has to do a lot of work to get on the inside. Push off, take some risks. So you have a twofold job. One is to just get into punching range, which is very hard. And then you have to, when you're there, you have to hope you're not awkward, you're not in a bad spot. Then you have to do your best work. And this is some great body work here by Johnson.
He's instinctively placing the hands wherever he wants, reacting to the fighter in front of him and how he's positioning himself against Johnson. And there you see it, a punch getting out of the way.
And then getting right back into punching position. And when he's in tight, he gets a lot of good torque on his shots. Good power, especially those body shots.
And for being the taller opponent, he's been able to lower himself with ease against Trujillo.
Then invite him in for an uppercut.
Finishes it off with a right hand. Another quality round in the bank for Isaiah Johnson.
Let's take a look at the Johnson highlight reel. Jab and a straight left hand. That's from the outside. Clubbing right hook. And then he would also do exceptional work both here and then on the inside. When Trujillo got near him, that's the uppercut I was talking about. There's the left hand. What a package.
TBL fans, the winner of round 21 by way of unanimous decision from the Philly Smoke, Isaiah Johnson. Round 22 at cruiserweight, NYC, Tasha Tally. Philly, Steve Cunningham Sr.
As we move to cruiserweight in round number 22, Steve Cunningham Sr., former cruiserweight world champion, has a chance to put this head-to-head matchup in the quarterfinals on ice. If he picks up just 1 point, New York City would need 2 stoppages to effectively tie the score.
Yeah, and this is somebody who is geared to taking a chance for New York. He's got momentum, a couple nice wins. He's looked sharp, and he's in against the 49-year-old Cunningham. Well, he has to go for it. New York needs 2 stoppages in the 3 fights it has left, and there have been no stoppages tonight, so that's how uphill of a task this is.
And Steve Cunningham Sr. recorded a victory over Tasha Tally back in round 15. So can he go 2 for 2? Not only that, make it 4 for 5 on the season in the head-to-head matchup between these two.
And that was a big call for Philadelphia at that point. Again, New York was creeping close and trying to get out of the middle rounds within hailing distance. And then Philly won the last 2. Now, if you tally, you know that Cunningham, former 2-time champion, has so many veteran tricks. One of them is tying up without getting called for it and shortening the round. Do that 5 or 6 times, 2 minutes becomes 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and the 3 minutes becomes 2:30.
You do enough of that, you stay about a half a step ahead of your opponent, like Cunningham Sr. is doing here. And that's likely a round in the bag for the tested veteran.
And knowing what his skill set is, knowing how to make the most of it over 3 minutes. And if you're going against that, you tally, you have to do everything to make Cunningham uncomfortable. There was another 5 seconds just got shaved off after Cunningham did good work.
And that good work coming on defense. Tally trying to put together a flurry of punches, a lot of it not breaking through the shield of Steve Cunningham Sr.
It looked like he saluted Cunningham, like the USS Cunningham, the same salute that Cunningham gives. Very unique thing that he did there. And the left hook gets in from Tally. Another 10, 12 seconds off.
And a moment ago, you saw Cunningham Sr.'s eyes kind of glance away from the ring. Maybe look at the clock here.
Yeah.
And that's that.
No doubt he shaved at least 30, if not 40 seconds off the round. And then did a good job in the other couple of minutes. So we'll see how the judges have it. Tally was the one putting the pressure on, and Cunningham was trying to negate him. There's Tally eating a right hand, even with Cunningham on the ropes. And then Tally is doing his best work in here. And there's a salute to USS Cunningham. And then he tried to punch from a bizarre angle.
TBL fans, the winner of round 22 by way of unanimous decision. From NYC, Tesha Tilly. Our penultimate money round will be in the middleweight division. NYC, Justin Figueroa. Valley, Steve Cunningham Jr.
Well, Dave, apparently the judges didn't like the clock game from Steve Cunningham Sr.
I liked what Tally did. I think he did a nice job with his offense and punching through it. And he could have gotten both of them. So the fact that Tally got one keeps New York City putting some pressure on Figueroa. He would need to get 2 points to keep New York within that 4-point range for the next one.
So a 6-point difference with 2 rounds to go, including this one. Bottom line, New York City needs extra points.
They would need 2 for Figueroa to set up a chance for Barlow to tie it. And here's a good guy if he ever breaks out. We've been talking about Figueroa 14-0 as a fighter outside TBL, trying to get his stripes in here and thinking that he just has to bust out.
Well, Cunningham checks him with a left hand connect. Came back with a right hand as well. So a point score. Steve Cunningham Jr.
A looping right hand by Cunningham. Figueroa trying to time him, and just that slight hesitation gave Cunningham the chance to land a straight left hand.
Connected to the body. Steve Cunningham Jr. looking to go 2 for 2 tonight against Justin Figueroa, as Philadelphia looks to end this season for the defending champs.
It's been a distinctive nuance that Cunningham has had, almost like he can read the eyes of Figueroa, knowing Figueroa is about to launch, and then beat him to it.
Figueroa went for it, and now Cunningham on the attack here with a little over a minute to go.
Turn around.
And they both landed some pretty good shots.
Will we see another roll of the dice from Figueroa before this round is out? His team would certainly like to see it.
With the left hook that he tried, and right after he does, Cunningham does not back off and play the clock. He comes right at Figueroa, timing it.
"30 seconds remain. Steve Cunningham Jr. just staying on his feet. Could close the show and ensure Philadelphia of a victory.
Figueroa trying to do everything. Quick hands, loading up. His target is nowhere there.
Steve Cunningham Jr. at the sound of the bell, he stays on his feet. And either way, win or lose for this Philadelphia 160-pounder, it's just going to be 1 point awarded to one of these teams, and the season mathematically will have run out on New York City.
It has. Here's Cunningham putting an exclamation point on his excellent performance. Figueroa had some moments. This is more of what he'd like to do in the future in Team Boxing League. Was it enough here? Cunningham had a lot going.
By way of unanimous decision from the Philly Smoke, Steve Cunningham Jr. Our final money round will be in the heavyweight division. NYC, Danny Barlow. Philly, Eric Ross.
So it's the final round, round number 24. Barlow and Ross, who gave us some fireworks near the end of the middle rounds. But the big picture, Dave, Philadelphia has locked in this victory in the quarterfinals, and they'll be on their way to the semifinals in the TBL postseason.
And they finally swatted away the pesky New York team in the playoffs. And you think of how dramatic that run was for New York last year. Philly was 1 point away from winning the Mega Brawl for the last 5 fights, and New York won every one of them. So this for Philly is a sweet win in that respect, being able to vanquish the team that ended their Mega Brawl quest last year.
Barlow a bit more conservative to start off this round compared to that 16th round that we saw.
He showed a lot of power early in that fight. Landed a big left hand and continued the momentum he's had in recent fights.
I mean, you could see it right there as they went face to face, the body composition. And you talked about it, some of the big, powerful, and effective shots that Barlow was able to land. If he was closer to the heavyweight norm and not of that of a cruiserweight, they could have possibly sent Ross down.
Yeah, I think he'll be an excellent fighter if he goes down 1 weight class. And we've seen fighters do that. We saw Adrian Taylor come down and do this last year for San Antonio, and he had a terrific year, because in this particular weight class you could be giving away 50 pounds.
This is a blood streaming from the left ear of Danny Barlow as he gets caught. David Fields, the referee, is right there in that position, so he has to have seen that blood on the ear. Not sure if it's coming from the ear.
You see these guys, because of the 205 plus, the plus is unlimited. They look like two fighters who belong in different weight classes. And I think going forward they will find a spot for Danny Barlow where he can thrive.
We heard Jesse Hart a little while ago talking about his dream matchup at the moment, Philadelphia and Miami. How about Eric Ross going up against Luis Ortiz? That would be fun.
How much we would like to see that. Well, that's one step closer, as Philly has taken its first step.
That's the sound of the bell. 24 rounds in the books. And so is Philadelphia's trip to the semifinals. For a third straight season, the Philadelphia Smoke will compete in the TBL semis. And here they extinguish the demons with New York City and topple and eliminate the Attitude on this night to open up the TBL playoffs.
TBL fans, the winner of round 24 by way of unanimous decision from the Philly Smoke, Eric Ross.
Eric Ross picks up the win in the final round. Philadelphia improves to 9-0. the year. 16-8 the final as Philadelphia moves on to the TBL playoffs. Team Boxing League is brought to you by Balance of Nature. In boxing, consistency beats intensity. Balance of Nature supplements help you stay consistent with ingredients of whole foods you can easily slot into your daily routine. Go to balanceofnature.com, use code TEAM, and start today. Philly wins at 16-8. Time now for our star of the fight, brought to you by Balance of Nature. No secret why Stacia Suttles is an MVP nominee, Dave.
Yeah, against St. Ville tonight, really looking like a leader, did everything but score a stoppage, never in any kind of trouble. That confirmation is tough to go against. Range, power, and efficiency.
So it's the smoke. On to the semifinals. Let's go back inside 2300 Arena with Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the legendary 2300 Arena here in Philadelphia, PA, your final score of our TBL Season 4 quarterfinal. The Philly Smoke 16, the NYC Attitude 8. Philly advances to the TBL semifinal. Here are your 3 stars of the fight. Number 3 star, NYC Attitude Super Middleweight, Javier Martinez. Number 2 star, Philly Smoke Middleweight, Steve Cunningham Jr. Balance of Nature, number 1 star, Philly Smoke Super Lightweight, Stacia Suttles. And now a round of the night, round number 4 between Jose Adriel Diaz Rodriguez and Angel Hernandez.
All right, Coach, congrats on the win tonight. We were able to talk before the fight, and you were confident in what was going to go down tonight. What did you like about Philly's performance tonight?
Winning the rounds.
Any team that you're excited to face now that we're in the playoff run?
Say that again?
Team most excited to face off in the playoffs?
Just the next one.
Thanks, congrats. Javier, now we know TBL is a team sport, but of course we have to acknowledge and appreciate the individual team accolades. Now, from the beginning of the season to now, you've been undefeated and now 7-0. How good does it feel?
It feels great. You know, before I joined this TBL, I didn't think I was going to fight again. So being here and being undefeated, it feels great. Shout out to my team, New York City. I love y'all.
Thank you. Congrats. All right, Steve, now it's only right that I bring up you and your father being on the same team, and with the news breaking out that LeBron is back in Philly. Is it kind of like LeBron and Bronny chasing that championship?
It definitely is, you know, going for greatness. Simple as that.
Well, congrats on the win, and of course, Stacia, an amazing performance tonight. How do you work with the pressure of not only coming up on top and performing every single round, but being the lead scorer for the league since the beginning?
Yeah, you know, first of all glory to God. I would not be in this position without him. I just come in here and I do what I do for my team. I want to rack up those points so that we can win and move on to the next round.
Congrats on the win tonight. Back to you guys.
Sophia, thanks so much. Bottom line, Dave, Stacia Suttles, Shaquille Ellis, we talked about it in the beginning. Those two names jump out at you when you look at the bout sheet of terms of who will be performing twice. They hold up their end of the bargain. That's points in the bank right off the bat for Philadelphia, and it proved its way here tonight.
All the leaders did exactly what they were expected to do, and Philly wins it without knockouts. They stacked them, win by 4, win by 2, win by 2. They're a little bit better with you each stanza. So this is a team now that is 19-1 in those launch, middle, and money rounds. Just a very consistent team.
So they improved to 9-0 overall. They clinched their 3rd straight trip to the semifinals. The Philadelphia Smoke defeat NYC 16-8. 3 more quarterfinal matchups coming your way as we begin the TBL playoffs next Friday, July 31st. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. The Miami Assassins and the Atlanta Attack. Saturday, August 1st, San Antonio and Phoenix in a big Western Division matchup. And then on Sunday, Las Vegas and Los Angeles. All the action can be seen right here on Team Boxing League, where every round is the last round. An updated look at the playoff bracket. The Philadelphia Smoke in the semifinals. They will await the winner of San Antonio and Phoenix. On the other side of the bracket, Jesse Hart's dream opponent, the Miami Assassins and the Atlanta Attack. That is the next quarterfinals matchup coming up again on Friday night. Here, Philadelphia beats New York City 16-8 to punch their ticket to the semifinals. The 16-8, the final from 2300 Arena. For Dave Bontempo, for Sophia Gutierrez and our entire TBL crew, I'm Justin Shackle. Join us again on Friday as the postseason rolls along.